let's size an image. Before you size an image, you need to make a copy of your master file. The master file is that image that you worked on that has all of your layers and all of the editing that you've done and the cropping that you've done. So at this point, we're ready to do a save as. So we go up to File in the menu, File, Save As, or Shift-Command-S on your keyboard. And we're going to call this the file name underscore. I like to give it the file size that I'm changing it to. So I'm going to make this one 3000 pixels on the longest side. And you want that number to be before the .psd. And we say OK. So now I'm going to have two files, my master file and then this file that I'm going to save to 3000 pixels on the longest side. So let's do it. Image, image size. And in here, it tells you our original size. Our height is 5184 by 3888 pixels at a resolution of 240. Just so you know, you can click where it says pixels, and you can choose percent, pixels, inches, centimeters, millimeters. We're going to choose pixels, but remember, you can change it to inches if you are so inclined. The longest side is the height. So we're going to just highlight this and type in 3000 pixels. So it went from a 57.7 megabyte file down to a 19.3 megabyte file. We're downsizing this. Right here, this little link, this is very important. This has to stay on. If you turn it off, you're not going to have your image in proportion. So when I change this to 3000 from 5888, notice the width changed with it. So one more time, I'm going to change it down to 3000, and the width changes in proportion. If things look squat, skinny, funky, make sure that that link is on. We want a resolution of 240 because that's what we are printing out to our inkjet printer. But let's just say I wanted to change that to 300 because I wanted to send it to a lab. When I type in 300, my height and width just changed. Okay, so you want to change your resolution before you change your height and width. So keep that in mind. Resolution gets changed first and then your height and width. We'll leave resample checked on, and it will then decide whether to add bicubic sharper, bicubic nearest neighbor. So it'll decide what the best upsizing or downsizing algorithm should be for your photograph. At this point, we just hit OK. And I've now resized it down to 3000 pixels on the longest side. We're going to do a save, Command S. So that image is ready to go to print at 3000 pixels. Let's do this one more time. This is a horizontal image. So we're going to start by doing a save as, file, save as, and this one we're going to save to 2048 pixels for the internet. So 2048 is going to be our new file name, Photoshop, and we're going to say save. Now, image size. So because this is going to the internet and not being printed, I'm going to change my resolution first down to 72. And then my longest side is the width, so I'm going to go 2048 there. Notice we went from a 57.7 meg file down to a 9 meg file. 2048 long side held the height proportion, 72 ppi. Say OK. And this time, because it is going to the internet, I'm going to do a save as again because I want to save it as a JPEG. And now our extension updates to JPEG, and I'll have the 2048 PSD and a 2048 JPEG file. Save. And remember, a JPEG flattens your layers. Now we have a square image, and I want to save this for a 4x4 inch print that I'm going to send out to the lab. Notice this one has some layers in it, the others didn't. I had already worked this photograph. So we're going to start by doing File, Save As, and we're going to call this, I'll put that underscore in there as well. Separate that out. Hit save. Now I come up to image size. It's going to a print lab, so I'm going to change my resolution to 300. And I want it to be 4x4 inches, so I'm going to switch over to inches this time. And I'm going to type in 4. 4x4 at 300. Went from a 38.1 meg file down to a 4.12 meg file. Hit OK. And we're going to do Shift-Command-S because when I go to a lab, it also needs to be saved as a JPEG. Some labs take TIFFs, some take JPEGs, so you gotta go to the lab and find out what their specs are. And then we hit save. So hopefully that gives you a little handle on sizing your images.